going on, everybody? Welcome back to Roll with the Flow Garage. Tonight, just out in the garage out here right now. I haven't shot a video in a while, unfortunately. Just been a lot of family stuff going on. Just haven't been able to do anything, unfortunately, in the garage. But I have so many projects I want to get to over the winter with the C10 and the Fairlane both. But tonight, I have to work on my wife's F150. So these Coyote four-wheel drive F150s have been all the rage lately, so maybe this will help somebody out. I've got a 2018 F150. It's four-wheel drive, 5-liter Coyote motor. A real common issue with these is the integrated wheel ends go bad, and they make a bunch of racket. Sounds like a wheel bearing bad. I'm going to drive the truck, see if you can hear it. Alright, so we're going for a drive here through my neighborhood. Just going nice and slow. You can hear what sounds like a wheel bearing roaring. But you hear the noise. If I turn it to four-wheel drive, you hear the noise and it's gone. So just put it back in two-wheel drive, and now it's not making the noise anymore because, oh, there it goes. I'm not sure you can hear that roaring. It's a really faint noise. Sounds like a wheel bearing roar. See, now it's gone. So that means I've got a bad integrated wheel end, as they call it, or IWE. I also know that my inner boot on my left CV axle is busted, so I'm going to change the CV axle and the IWE. Now you can really hear it roaring, how loud it is. Sounds just like a bad wheel bearing, and when I first got the truck, I had that same issue, and I thought it was the wheel bearings, and I replaced both of them. And come to find out, I was wrong. It was an integrated wheel end. Now I've got another bad one, unfortunately. Like I said, I'll show you one more time. Shift to four wheel. You hear it kick in, and now the noise is gone. So there's our sound that I got going on. So that's what I'm going to go after and fix tonight, unfortunately. Unfortunately, you have to work on your dailies just more than you get to work on your hot rods anymore, and that's the nature of the beast. There's also TSBs from Ford for replacing this check valve. It's having trouble focusing. There we go. Check valve right here. And for this switch, this is the vacuum control that turns the four-wheel drive on and off, and it's a check valve. There's a TSB from Ford, says replace both of those, which I did already, so these are new from Ford, and still got that going on. So I will also say I just installed a catch can too, because this thing consumes oil like nobody's business. So I just installed this catch can yesterday. UPR catch can. The hoses are way too long, but that's what it came with, so right now that's the way it's going to be. But I'm gonna see how much oil we catch in this thing too, because that's another issue we got going on. There's also a TSB out from Ford for the oil consumption on these 18 to 20s F150s with Coyote, and they say to reflash the computer and change the engine oil dipstick. So I flashed the computer at my work and added the catch can. Now I've got the new dipstick here. You see the new dipstick is this one up here. Dipstick's actually longer, but the crosshatches still seem like it's in the same spot, so I'm not 100% sure what the dipstick's supposed to be doing. But new dipstick is longer, so we'll see how this all goes. So I get it now. There's both dipsticks. Both dipsticks show full. The new dipstick is the one in the back. back here. That's the new one. All they did was lengthen the crosshatch section and make the dipstick longer to give you a more okay level of oil. And that's Ford's brilliant fix. Gotta love it. Alright, so now that we went over the oil consumption ordeal, I'm going to start on the integrated wheel end, which means I got to pull the spindle off. Which I can tell you first, since I'm under the hood already, I've got to unplug this connector right here. That's the ABS sensor. Got a lock. Little red lock I pulled out. Right there. I'm gonna need 2 hands, so I'm gonna have to put you down, but alright, first things first. I already got the ABS sensor unplugged up top. I showed you that. Now I'm gonna get the wheel off and go from there. Alright, so next step, I'm going to take the caliper and the bracket off as one. Take the caliper bracket bolts out back here, one here, down the bottom. Take the rotor off. Then I'll take this cap off, take the axle bolt out, knock the upper and lower ball joints and the tie rod off of the spindle. And then undo the brake hose and the ABS sensor from here, from the spindle, because the spindle's coming off. So try to get your best shot in there here. .21mm on the caliper bracket bolts. Caliper bracket out of the way. Brake pad came out of the bracket. That kind of sucks. Got a hanger. I'm going to hang this up out of the way. Give me a second. Alright. It's always best to hang this so that you don't stress the brake hose. I always hang it from up here out of the way. Frame. So now it's hanging there. It's out of my way. Not causing stress on the brake hose here. So we got to unbolt this bracket here and the ABS sensor there. Pull the ABS sensor out of this. Get out of right here. Right here. Alright. ABS wire fished out of there. I gotta take this bolt loose, that bolt loose. 8 by 10. Alright, ABS sensor's loose. $10mm. That stuff is free of my spindle. I can pull the vacuum line off here. This goes to the integrated wheel end that you'll see once we get to it. Recorder off. Wheel bearing is going to stay bolted to the spindle, but we do got to get the axle nut off here. Get this cap off. $13mm. Don't really need an impact for it. It's not much torque at all, but it's a new axle, so it's bigger. Factory, it's a 13. Aftermarket axle that I'm replacing. It's a 14. Alright. So now I gotta get my upper ball joint nut off and get it separated, and then my tie rod and my lower ball joint, and then the spindle is gonna be ready to come off. Pretty fast to work. I'm gonna put you over here. Probably gonna have to jack up the spindle from the control arm some to get my impact on there. So the lower ball joint and the tie rod nuts are 21s, upper ball joints an 18. It was an 18 and I was right, but I pulled a 19. Alright, this one's always tricky. Have to get my swivel. Knock the tie rod loose first. Tie rod's off. Alright, turn that. Give me more room for that upper. Wow. Never had that happen before. Took the upper nut off and it all just popped apart. Guess it's good and bad, but it hurt my knee. That sucks. All right, you gotta be careful not to hurt yourself like me, idiot. All right, so there's my integrated wheel end. These 3 bolts hold it to the spindle. 2 vacuum lines that are these right there. You know, inspect these vacuum lines, make sure there's no issue with them and everything looks good. You know, all of them are in really good shape. I inspected them. There's no holes, all of that. The truck is leveled. It only has a 1-inch level though. It's hard to see up there. It's got a 1-inch puck on top of a strut. And I mean, I guess that's why I keep busting CV boots, but this will be axle number 3 that I've busted in no time flat. So get this axle popped out of here. Just take a pry bar in there and pop it out. I'm going to try to tape that. come right out. So I'm going to have to jack up the control arm a little bit to get it past the strut. Alright. Axle's out. There's one hole in the boot. Don't know why. There's a bigger one. Two holes in the boot. But again, this is a new axle. Well, that's torn all the way there. Alright, get my new axle to get it in. Fresh rebuilt axle, ready to go in. It's in place. These are just 8mm bolts. Bolt it. Little love tap. It's up and out. Throw the spindle back on here. New IWE in place. A few things got to happen here at once. Got to get the axle in there and the ball joint, little ball joint in there together. Tricky. I've hit it. Alright, now I gotta jack up the lower control arm and get it up. To be honest, I'm tired. First day back after 5 days off for the holidays. I'm just exhausted, so it's taking a little bit longer than normal. But coming apart's way easier than going together. And that's with anything. Just I need more hands than I got at this point. Got her back on. Upper's tight, lower's tight. I still got to tighten my nut there. I'm working on my outer tie rod right now. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Wrench her up. Once I get it past the burr, it may tighten with the impact, but I had this problem last time and I forgot about it, to be quite honest. I'm exhausted. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'm trying to get this done. Still gotta do a tire rotation on it too. Already did the oil change. Showed you some items on the oil consumption deal. Just trying to knock everything out tonight because I don't want to have to come home from work tomorrow and everything be all wet and have to finish it in the rain. My wife's on vacation still because of Christmas, so she's off. Technically, I don't have to drive it. Have a spare vehicle anyway. but I don't like to start something and not finish it, especially when it's close. All right, tie rod's good. Just gotta reroute my ABS, hook my brake hose back up, hook the IWE up right here. Vacuum line's engaged. Just gonna running that. Put my little 10 milli back in here. Turn that down in a minute. Maybe this one back here. Put my little 8 milli there. Go ahead and tighten those. 8 mil. Where's my 10 mil? Got it. 10 mil getting away from me tonight. I ain't gonna say it ain't gonna happen all the time, but tonight it won't. Alright. Probably in the way where I'm not showing you anything at all, because that's the way it works when you try to shoot with an iPod. When you try to shoot with a tripod. Alright, so my ABS is all good and routed here. Now I'll hook that back up when I put the truck back on the ground. Get my rotor on here. Oh, I got that in a little 14. Just gotta go gentle. This is only like 30 foot-pounds of torque. Turn my impact all the way down. I'll finish that off by hand. Get this bag from going around, because that's what I think I got. Gonna finish this off by hand. This is only like 30 foot-pounds, so this is not the time for the Uggas or the Duggas, even. Just give it a little. Big boy brake rotor. Now I gotta get the caliper bracket. Spacer came off here. Snap that back on. It's crazy as I greased these slides pretty nicely, but they're pretty not greasy anymore. Really need to take the caliper apart and grease them too. Say it's just, but if you don't, brake pads ain't gonna last. Gonna wear them out fast. Too expensive to wear out fast, faster than normal. Get my brake pad set back up in there.
Dad?
Alright. Little cap goes back on. Tippity tap tap. Caliper bracket is ready to be zipped back on, and this is when you use all the ugga-duggas. Possibly some Loctite if you had it. Alright. We're going to finish up with the tire rotation and clean our mess up. Not much for you to see with tire rotation. You'll just have to trust me that I did it, but here we go. There's everything back together. Like I said, it's not that hard. It's just coming apart is super easy. It's just hard putting it back together by yourself, one-handed and trying to video. Just know that. Alright, so roads have been pretty terrible. Haven't been able to drive the F150 for video purposes, obviously. Been driving it. Had a couple big snowstorms come through, so just now getting to where the roads are dry enough that we can actually make a video on it for you to be able to hear some noises. But before, we had the wheel bearing noise, and whenever I would put it in four-wheel drive, you'd hear a loud clunking noise. All of that's gone now, and we're just going to drive down the road and show you here. So you got no more wheel bearing noise. Clicker in the 4 high. No more clunking noise. So that integrated wheel end took care of our issue. Hopefully this video helped out some of you F150 guys. I know you're out there. I do love this truck, but it has been one thing after another with it, unfortunately. But all you can do is keep on rolling with the flow and fixing what you got to do. So appreciate you guys watching my video. Like and subscribe. Come back and see me. Have a good one.